7 days from Johannesburg, South Africa to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and it was really the start of this entire thing. So we arrived here completely unknown in an aeroplane that we built in 8 weeks essentially, and to be here today it feels quite strange because we now are a Sling family from all over the world, and all of you are in some way part of that Sling family. So I'm a South African. Got Mike Blythe here next to me, the real founder of the airplane factory. He's going to tell you a little bit more just now. And stronger than the South African team here now is the American team. Matt Lignarsky, Wayne Todden, and Jean Dassonville. And I think it's quite strange for us South Africans to arrive here and see in the intervening 10 years, since we arrived loners in our little aircraft, just how much of a community, a lifestyle, and a business this has become. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the history. We've got a couple of people to thank, and we're going to tell you what's going on at the moment in America. So without further ado, Mike Blythe.
Thanks, James. So first of all, I'm just going to say thanks. Thanks to Bob and Joan, especially Joan. I know you guys worked very hard to put this on. And they did that out of the goodness of their hearts, so we appreciate that a lot. Welcome to everybody else here. We've got a lot of international visitors here as well. Thanks to you for supporting us over the years. We appreciate that a lot. We'd like to particularly welcome international distributors over here, international dealers. Special mention out to Mojo Group and JP Schultz. Sling owners, there's quite a few Sling owners here. Yeah, welcome to you. Welcome to our suppliers. Our major suppliers are Rotax, Airmaster are here, wherever they are at the back. I saw them a minute ago, they're getting beer as usual, you know, those New Zealanders. And of course, earlier we had the guys from Matco. I don't see them here right now. Anyway, welcome to you. Welcome to the press. And South African Civil Aviation, are they here? Neil Armstrong and Snoopy? No, they're not. So we can abuse them in their absence. That's great. So I thought I'd just start off by telling you, reminding you, for those of you who don't know, or telling you about it for those of you who don't know, reminding you, those who've heard the story before, of how we started. Started the business in 2005 with just a dream, and started sketching out a two-seater aircraft, which turned into the Sling 2. 2 years later, James joined me, and within 4 years, we produced a prototype, and we flew that first one in 2009, as James just mentioned, around the world. Yeah, well, that was the second prototype that we made.
So I just want to tell you something about Mike Blythe. Mike is the world's greatest optimist. He believed that he'd start a business October 2005, and that he'd fly an aeroplane by October 2006.
Yeah.
I joined him in February 2008, and there was nothing that flew. We then built our development prototype in October 2008. 2009, we built our round the world plane. It took us 8 weeks with Jean's help in a hangar in Springs. That's the aeroplane we bought in 2009.
So we went into production with that Sling 2 in 2010. 2011 with John, we flew around the world in the opposite direction in the Sling 4. Last year we went into production with our Sling TSI, which is our latest model. John is going to talk about it a little bit later on. We've gone from a factory of just 3 people in 2005, about 20 in 2007, to 2015 people at 200. 215 people in the business right now. And we have quite big different departments. Just out of interest, our engineering department, because I know you guys are all interested in the technical side of things, the engineering department has got 15 people in it. So it's busy business. Anyway, we're doing very well. As you can see, the community is growing around the world. We have what we like to call as the Sling family, and that's a lot of you who are not yet completely converted to being part of our family, but you know, there's a baptism once you're through it. part of our family. Right, I'm going to pass this on to Matt, and I'm going to get him to talk to you about the US operation so that you know how everything works over here in the United States.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I'm not going to try to talk over the Blue Angels if they come here. I just wanted to echo what Mike said and really welcome all of you here. And echo what Bob said in that what you get when you're building an airplane like this and when there's people this passionate about an airplane is you get a family of people who are all enthusiastic, love to share their stories, and it becomes something, you know, truly bigger than what it starts out at. It starts out as you know, raw aluminum, and it ends up in not only an airplane and many airplanes, but it ends up in a bunch of people, a bunch of relationships, and a bunch of adventures and stuff that, you know, makes up life. So it's about as great a thing as you can imagine, and we really appreciate all of you. So who is building or flying a Sling 2? Show of hands.
Wow,
Nice.
That's great.
Who is building or flying a Sling 4?
Needs to increase.
Who is building a Sling TSI? Okay, nice. Who wants to be building a Sling TSI? Yeah. Okay, great. So, yeah, as Mike said, we're just going to introduce ourselves here. We obviously care a lot about all of you building or interested in the Sling in the North American market. And obviously, as you know, launching a new product in you know, in a competitive market is a difficult process. So we really care about making it as you know, growing this product and growing this family as best as we can. And so right now, the company in the United States, we have 3 co-CEOs. And so between the 3 of us, we make 1 person. And if anyone asks us anything, we'll say, ask the other 2. And every decision we make, we go, do you? Okay, it's done. But the biggest thing that happened to our partnership this year is that Wayne Totten joined us, and that has just been huge for our business. So now the trio is complete, and John, Wayne, and myself, we feel like we've got what we need to take this thing to the next level, and we're super excited about the future and about what we're doing. And Wayne and John are going to talk in a little bit. In the United States, we also have Barry J, who's the head of North American Sales and Marketing. We're very happy to have Barry. That flyover was for you. And we've got an ever-growing staff. We've moved into a second big hangar in Torrance. We've got a build assist operation that John will talk about in a minute. We have 4 airplanes that we're assisting owners in building in our hangar now. We've got Gene, Carlos, Perry, David, Casey, and a growing group of builders that are helping us out there. So we're really on a growth spurt and having to deal with trying to grow the business and expand it in a healthy way. Also want to give a special shout out to our dealers. We have in the Midwest, Andy, Henry, and Megan. And that flyover was for you. Also, we have Mike and Marshall and Mitchell in Oklahoma, and they're doing some build assist operations there and some flight instruction as well. We're also very happy about the inroads we're making into Mexico. We have about 4 or 5 Slings being built or flying in Mexico now. And we're very excited about our partnership with our Mexican dealers, Sling Mexico there. They're a great bunch of people. They're very passionate builders, and they're all very excited about the Sling, so we're very excited about what we can do with in Mexico. And they may be helping us with some build assist operations too. And then Aerosport in Wisconsin, Jeremy and Daniela, I don't know if they're here, but we really appreciate you. And our newest dealer in the New York Northeast area, Doug of Custom Aircraft Builders, welcome. Doug. And he's still got that new dealer smell. I'm now going to pass you on to Wayne, who's going to talk about the Sling Pilot Academy, which he is the architect of him. So, yeah. So we call Wayne the architect. No, actually we don't. But I'm going to pass you on to Wayne. He's going to talk about the academy. Then John's going to talk about the TSI and build assist operations.
So before I get on to Sling Pilot Academy, just want to say that we're really, really happy to have Mike Ojo here with us. He's been really supportive. He's done some great videos for us in the past. And obviously, I don't know, who here follows Mojo Group's videos? Okay, he's got a good audience even right here.
Mike, stand up a bit so they can see what you look like. They need to go.
There it is. So obviously Mike gets to fly a lot of aircraft, and we're just really proud that he's chosen to build a Sling TSI. So super happy that he's building a TSI. We've got to fly with him a number of times now, and the last flight we did, I think, up to Big Bear really kind of helped cement his decision. And we're really happy to have him on board. We can't wait to start building, and he's going to be filming during the build, and so all of you will get to follow along. So look him up, Mojo Group on YouTube, and yeah, follow him. So I was actually a customer before I was a partner. So I went to South Africa last summer and built with my son Matthew, who's filming right in front of us here, Sling TSI, and I just had so much fun. I mean, I had a blast in South Africa. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I had a blast dealing with these guys in the US. And what a team, unbelievable. You know, it was so nice to work with them, and the product was incredible, obviously. So quite early on in the process, I think I said to John, hey, you know, if you guys are interested, I'd be interested in coming on as a partner. And in the meantime, my son had decided that he wanted to be a commercial pilot, and we'd gone and visited a school called ATP. I shouldn't really throw them under the bus, but I've had a couple of beers. And we were really unimpressed with what we saw. You know, they're using 40-year-old. Here we are with this beautiful new Sling TSI glass cockpit, and we're looking at a compressed program, and they're flying 40-year-old Cessnas. It's all steam gauges. Even on their website, they promised glass, and they said, oh well, that's, you know, you get to go to Phoenix for 1 week and get exposed to some glass there. And I thought, and then they said, oh, talk to some students. You know, have a walk around, talk to the students. Well, half of the students told us how pissed off they were. So I just thought, gosh, I don't want to send him here. And we had a look at some other schools, and you know, was similarly unimpressed. I mean, ATP was definitely the worst. So I went to these guys and said, hey, if you're interested in putting together a compressed program, I'd be interested in helping you out. And we put together a business plan, and we just took in our first set of students in February of this year, and Kevin's one of them. Stand up, Kevin. Kevin was our first student. So Kevin actually flew one of the TSIs here, and that's the sort of thing we like to do. I mean, we're kind of like we looked at all of the things that we saw that were wrong with these other programs and thought, let's build something that's completely different. And we did, and it's already been an enormous success. We've got 14 full-time students, and we've got another induction coming up on August 15th, and it's just come together so beautifully, and I think part of it is just this whole team here. I mean, and the other big difference is we're using modern aircraft. You know, we're using slings with glass cockpits, and in fact, the closer Jean. Anyone comes by, we put them in the air with Jean, they sign up. So we hope to get about 6 full-time students in our first induction. We actually started with 14, and we've still got all 14 of them, thankfully. But they're doing really well. And I flew my aircraft recently to Dallas, and I came back on the 4th of July. And as I pulled around, I noticed the hangar door was open. I was thinking, geez, who left the hangar door open? It's 4th of July, and then as I pulled the aircraft in, half of our students were there on their day off. There were students washing aircraft, there were students in the simulator, and I get goosebumps every time I talk about it, because that's exactly what we were going for. Catherine was there. Catherine's one of our best instructors. And her dad's building a TSI. So yeah, I mean, it's coming together really well. Put the word out there. We've got accommodation options, and we've got a lot of people that come in from out of state. Just really happy to introduce the Sling Pilot Academy. Yeah, so just in terms of Matt just reminded me just to tell people there's just such a huge pilot shortage right now, and captains on the majors are making $300,000 to $400,000 a year. They get 100 days off in a year. They travel all around the world for free. So there's definitely much worse things to do than be a pilot, a commercial pilot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll hand over to John.
Thanks, Ray. I get the cream on the top. Yeah, you know, I'm standing here looking at everyone. It's really, coming to Oshkosh is about coming to the people. The airplane's always there, they're always going to be there, but the people, we'd look really silly if we were standing here speaking at empty tent. So to kind of echo what everyone has said, it's about the people. We're building this amazing aeroplane that came out of Mike's head, and it is just getting better and better and better. We got here this year, we flew the mighty TSI from LA to Oshkosh, and you all know we did the same flight to Sun and Fun. It's a remarkable machine, as all of the machines are. Every single product is a remarkable machine. And by now you all know the specs, you all know what it can do, and they just are remarkable machines. I'm going to say it once more. Yeah, so just a couple of things. In Torrance, we're running the Build Assist program because the demand has come there. So many people want to build an aeroplane, and not everyone has the skills and abilities to build it, or the willpower or the motivation. So
They want to cheat like I did.
So yeah, if anyone wants to build a TSI or anything else, come to Torrance, and we've got a really nice setup going there. We're developing it nicely, and come build a Sling in Torrance, and come to Sling Island again. Let's talk about it and let's keep the party going. What else should we talk about?
To James, we're going to talk about Sling Flying Adventures.
Okay, go.
We're a South African business. I feel like we're almost more an American business now.
Yeah.
Very proud for us in South Africa to be here and to see just how strong the culture of slings is in this country. But the real kind of origin of this thing is South African. Mike and I often have fights about this, because Mike feels that the rest of the world won't take us seriously if we're South African. Then I get people like our English distributor who says we should be advertising with the Lion King playing in the background. You know? But if you are interested, the whole thing is growing. We designed and manufactured aircraft to start with. We now, of course, have a maintenance facility. I think Mike will talk in a moment about the new developmental work that we are doing. We've never run a flying school before, and we've never made an aircraft available until recently. So we've just started a business. It's called Sling Flying Adventures, and it creates the opportunity for any licensed member of the public to come and rent an aeroplane essentially from our demonstration fleet, and to take it flying around South Africa, around Southern Africa. We've got two Sling 2s, one of the turbocharged engine constant speed prop, a standard kind of NSA Sling 2, and then we've got a Sling TSI and two Sling 4s. So if you are interested, look at flysling.com, book an aeroplane. You can come into your validation of your foreign license in South Africa within about 48 hours, and you can either take an aeroplane, curate your own trip, go wherever you want. Africa is the adventure continent. The weather's a whole lot better than it is in the States. People are super friendly. But if you need some help, we will also provide either a pilot to fly with you or another aircraft to fly along with the group. Extremely cheap by global standards, great for hour building, and a great deal of fun. You get to meet everybody at the factory, see where you originate from. Sling Flying Adventures, flysling.com. Come and join us in South Africa.
So what James didn't tell you, that he's just come back from an 11-day trip up to Zanzibar. He took 11 slings, and they were mostly British pilots with their wives and their families that joined James, and he was the tour operator. How did you do, James? You do all right?
I did very well. The British are not very good at taking instructions. I'd like to see the cops here in the States. We put in formation 12 slings, and mostly I flew at the back, shouting at people on the radio, turn right, keep left. But it is an absolutely fantastic place to fly, Southern Africa. You've got the big five, beautiful oceans, friendly people, and a lot of open space. Not quite as many airfields as there are in the States, but
roads to land on.
yeah, the roads to land on and deserts. Very, very good fun.
Okay, so one of the things that we're here to do today is to celebrate our 500th sling. But I have a confession. I thought we'd get to 500 before we got here, but we're actually sitting at 499 right now. So it's not quite 500. I was hoping also that we'd get to 500 by today or during this week. So anybody who feels like signing up for the 500th sling, what we're going to do is we're going to just plaque it specially and put special stickers on, so wherever it is in the world, people will recognize that that's the 500th sling. We hope in a couple of years' time it's going to be what was that? Going once?
TSI.
Yeah, TSI, yeah. Then, yeah, you can...
That was $4.99.
That was $4.99. That was number 499. Yeah.
Let's take a deposit right now.
Yeah.
One more 500 is free, right?
Yeah. The other thing that about order number 499 is it's our tallest customer is Rick. Is he here? Rick, are you here? He's 6'8". It's like
no, it's not.
He's I look at him. He's about over there somewhere. So we're sliding his seat a little bit further back than usual for him. So the main thing that we're going to do today is we're going to make an announcement about the next product. And as some of you already know, it's a high wing Sling TSI high wing. It's a 4-seater, 915 powered aircraft. We've been working on it for about 2.5 years already. We have started to make some parts. We hope to have it flying in 6 months, and we'll be in production. We'll be doing the testing early part of next year. We'll be in production by the end of next year. We're hoping to have a Sling TSI high wing here at the show next year to show you. I'll tell you a little bit about it. We were going to get a professional model maker to make us a model, and then one of our engineers said, my son makes models, he'd like to make you a model, and can my son make a model for you? And we thought, okay, that's good, we'll even pay him some money, because he said my son wants to be an aeronautical engineer like daddy, you know, so he said, okay. So he made a model for us, and it's not the most perfect model in the world, but this is the start of an engineering career. That's what it looks like. The left wing's coming off, but that shouldn't really happen in real life. Anyway, that's what it looks like. It's a cantilever wing. It's slightly wider than the Sling TSI. It's got the 915 powered engine, Airmaster propeller. The gear is new. The center of the fuselage from the firewall backwards to just behind the luggage compartment is all carbon fiber. We decided to make it out of carbon fiber to make it super strong and to get the shape really beautiful and perfect. And so the rear section is still similar to the Sling TSI. Firewall forward, Sling TSI. The wings are Sling TSI. And I'm going to pass this around. You're welcome to have a look at it. We think that this is going to do really well. I'm happy to answer some questions about more technical specs. I'll just tell you quickly, we'll have the same luggage capacity, same carrying capacity, same range. Slightly slower than the TSI because it's got a little bit more frontal area, so it's got a little bit more drag, but only like 3 knots, maybe 2 knots slower, which is fine. But it's going to be super big inside, super comfortable. We're making new seats for it, new upholstery, we really wanted this to set the standard for the rest of the world as far as the high wing is concerned, and I think we're doing that. And I hope to show it to you next year.
And I'm pleased to report that this aeroplane can be bought either as a tricycle undercarriage or as a tail dragger. So it's going to make a great bush plane, both for African applications and for, is it called the American Outback, or what is it called? Is that Australia? It's going to be called, the tail dragger is called a Sling Outback. Okay.
So we're going to give jackets away to dealers, and first of all, dealers and distributors. They can come and choose their jacket.
So I'm told we've got some prizes here, and the main prize is going to go to whoever can walk across that slack line from touching the one tree to the other. If you manage that, you get a film and a cap and a jacket. But until that happens, all dealers can come up and get a jacket.
Dealers, and then if you're an owner of a Sling, if you come first, you get a jacket.
Any Sling owner can get a jacket.
We're going to throw some movies around.
Right here, come on to
Who
this.
plays football or cricket? Throwing over, you guys going to catch. Check sizes. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, how you doing?